Hello, yes, my name is Josiah Shares. I am living in London currently, but I'm from Australia originally, if you couldn't tell by the accent. And I currently work with an organisation called Commissioned, and we're here as a group at this conference this weekend, which has been amazing.
Is this your first time attending Unity?
Yeah, this is my first time attending, it's been something that's sort of blown me away. I don't think I really had an idea of what it was going to look like. I've known OBA for some time now. I've known through Tony Hodges and CV, so it's nice to come along and see OBA sort of in her element of what she's doing and just, yeah.
So,
It's a very good question. I think as Christians, we go to church on a Sunday and we're told, to gather as community, but are we doing that during the week? Are we living that out continually? I look at us when we gather here, all the saints gathering as one for this conference, and I see we are unity, we are one, but there is that growing of what does it look like next? What does a church look like outside of the church building? How do we grow that? And I think for myself learning it's taking that land. It's seeing, you see how the Israelites came into the promised land and they were told to take it. You look at when they were in the wilderness for 40 years and then God brought them into the promised land and Joshua came over, the waters, and on the other side he built an altar to God of stones, and he says, we will remember this day to God. And I think with what we are doing, it is to remember, yes, this is a time where we are living in now, where we are to build altars to God in what we are doing. But then at the same time to now tread and take that land that is in front of us. And so for myself, with the organisation that we run, the charity, it is about teaching. It is about learning. It is about training, yes, the church. How is it that we can learn greater within the church building, but then how do we take that outside the walls? How is it that we are to be commissioned, the Great Commissioning? How is it to make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit? And that is our goal. And I think that should be on the heart of all Christians. It shouldn't just be, the leaders, or ministry shouldn't just be within, the pastors or the church. Exactly. Ministry should be, you have doctors and lawyers. Ministry should be teachers within the education system, in parliament. That is ministry. What God has placed you in, that is your ministry. And it's how you invade God into those areas. Yeah. We need to be living a life as Christians, not just on a Sunday. As a church, we also can't leave it to a secular event. Church can't just be a secular event. It can't just be we go to church on a Sunday, or we have a conference at the end of the year. Let's just go to that conference and wow, God's really moving. It's so good. And then that's it. That's not what the church is always about. The church was about community, but then the church was then how do we reach those around us? Jesus said, go to the highways and the byways, bring them in. The whole point is that everyone that is out within the world is lost. They don't know any better. But the whole point is we are the Bible. When we walk, we are Christ. We should be able to walk into a room and people should realize that, yeah, that's Jesus right there. I can feel that presence. It should be as if when you eat garlic and it comes out your skin the next day, that should be Christianity. It should be that you eat the word and you're with God all the time, that it should pour out of your skin. People should be able to smell that on you. Within the church, and we're looking at the end times and all that's going on, I think culturally we want to shake the world. We look at culture today and how much it influences. And the whole point is, how do you know what is right when it hasn't been told to you enough? You look at the world that lives in, they measure themselves in how good they are. I'm a good person. But if you're comparing how good you are to someone, let's say that's, this person is in jail because they committed this crime, and I'm good because I haven't committed that crime. That's wrong. You're just comparing yourself to that. Our comparison is the truth. Our comparison is Jesus. And if we compare ourselves to that, none of us are good. Christians aren't even good. That's the whole point. That is why we're in church. Jesus even said, no one is good, not even I, except the Father. And Jesus was saying that. So the whole point is the fact of recognizing we are no better than anyone else out there. We are in church because we want to be better. But we need to make that appealing to those that don't understand it. That is the problem. We can't walk into a church and think, yeah, we have this all figured out and we know what we're doing. And, you can only come to church if you know what you're doing. Nah, I go to church and I have no idea what I'm doing. And I go to church because I want to be better at what I'm doing. That is the truth. And so then how do we invade our workplaces? It's it's teaching. That is it. I think there's at times a lacking of teaching, and that's nothing to do with the pastor. That's not his fault. The pastor is there to be teaching on a Sunday, but I think as organizations and as Christians, we should be seeking teaching greater. We should be seeking it greater. We should be holding value in how much we take in, because if you just ate food on a Sunday, you ate your lunch and your dinner on a Sunday night, and you didn't eat for the rest of the week, and then you ate again on Sunday, you wouldn't survive. You wouldn't survive. And yet we do that with church. We go to church on a Sunday, we eat the word, spiritually we're like, yes, sweet, I'm set for the week. And that's it. That's not what it is. You're supposed to be in the word continually, to be in the word day and night. Daniel sat with God 3 times a day. It's a continual process. It doesn't mean that you're in the word and you're shouting it at people. That's not how it is. But when you're in the word and you're eating it, it should come out of you naturally. That's what it's about. So when I look at the church in the end times, or as we get closer to what is going around us culturally, I think this is a time where Christians should be seen greater. Christians should be seen as people that are different to everyone else. That is the truth. You are different because you're not in the world. You've been placed in it, but you're not of it. And that's the whole point. And so we are to live our lives as such, to teach, to help the pastor in the church, to edify the church.